We'll call our public hearing to order at this time. Our public hearing tonight is for ordinance number 2021-15. Mr. Stokes.
Ordinance number 2021-15. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, an ordinance to repeal and replace the Code of Ordinances, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Chapter 74, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Article 3, Parades and Demonstrations, Section 7471. An ordinance to govern the use of the city's streets, sidewalks, and other public places for the purposes of parades and assembly for all other purposes, to provide for provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption, effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. This will be the third reading tonight, Mayor. This ordinance has been available in the clerk's office. Is there anyone here that would like to speak either in favor of or in opposition of this ordinance? Mayor, it doesn't appear anyone's present. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. That concludes our public hearing. At this time, we will call our regularly scheduled council meeting to order. If you would, Mr. Stokes, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Earl Gray, Mayor.
Here.
Jim Childs, Councilman.
Here.
Craig Crawford, Councilman.
Here.
Derek Rogers, Councilman.
Here.
Rhonda James, Council Lady.
Here.
Paula Stinnett, Mayor Pro Tem, Council Lady.
Here.
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. We do have a quorum for tonight's meeting. This time we'll do our invocation and our pledge. Ms. Stinnett, if you would, please do the invocation. Ms. James, lead us in the pledge, please.
Lord God, we come humbly before you this evening, asking forgiveness for where we have sinned and asking your guidance that we may go forth from this place, making better decisions, working toward the wisdom that you established, that we may walk your path the days of our lives with all we say, think, and do. Lord God, be with our policemen, our fire, our emergency first responders, as they take care of us and provide for the safety of the city. We ask these things humbly. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we will set the agenda. We do have one deletion on the agenda tonight. There will not be any executive session tonight. Any other additions or deletions?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Righty.
No.
Have a motion.
No, sir.
Have a motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Mr. Crawford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is set. First item is the approval of the minutes of the previous council meeting. If members of council have had an opportunity to review the minutes from our regularly scheduled meeting, which was held on September the 13th, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is resolutions. Resolution number 2021-06. Mr. Stoltz.
Resolution 2021-06, resolution to adopt Carl Vinson Institute Classification and Compensation Plan. A resolution to amend the classification and compensation plan for the City of Fort Oglethorpe employees pursuant to the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia Employee Personnel Policies, Chapter 7, Section 1, to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for the severability, to repeal conflicting portions thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Whereas The duly elected governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the state of Georgia, the official code of Georgia annotated 36353, the charter of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and the personnel policies of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Chapter 7, Section 1, to adopt by resolution an employee classification and pay plan. And whereas the duly elected governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, is vested in the city council composed of a mayor and 5 council members, and whereas the city has engaged the services of the Carl Vinson Institute of the University of Georgia to conduct a comprehensive study of the city's employee classification and pay plan, and whereas the Carl Vinson Institute has submitted its findings in the form of a proposed employee classification and pay plan for the city employees, which is attached hereto as Exhibit A. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the personnel policies of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Section 7, Section 1, are hereby amended to adopt the Carl Vinson Institute classification and pay plan as the city's current employee classification and pay plan effective the first day of January 2022. That pay plan is attached, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is ordinances. This is the third and final reading for ordinance number 2021-15. Mr. Stoltz.
Yes, y'all be patient. This one has to be the full thing. City of Fort Oglethorpe, State of Georgia, ordinance number 2021-15. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe as an ordinance to repeal and replace the Code of Ordinances, City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Chapter 74, Streets and Sidewalks and Other Public Places, Article 3, Parades and Demonstrations, Section 7471. Said an ordinance to govern the use of the city's streets, sidewalks, and other public places for the purposes of parades and assembly for all reasons, to provide for the provisions therein as authorized by state law, to provide for modification, to provide for severability, to repeal conflicting ordinances or parts thereof, to provide for an adoption effective date, and for all other purposes allowed by law. Whereas the duly elected governing authority of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, is authorized under Article 9, Section 2, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution of the state of Georgia, the official code of Georgia annotated 36353, and the charter of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to adopt reasonable ordinances to protect and improve the public health, safety, welfare, and aesthetics of the citizens of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. And whereas the mayor and council envision an improved methodology for application and administrative of the public use of the city's public ways and spaces for parades, assembly, and demonstrations, and whereas the duly elected governing authority of the city of Fort Oglethorpe is vested in the city council composed of a mayor and 5 council members, and whereas this ordinance shall repeal and replace the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Chapter 74, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Article 3, Parades and Demonstrations, Section 1. The City of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, Chapter 74, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, Article 3, Parades and Demonstrations, Section 7471, is hereby repealed in its entirety and replaced as follows. Section 7471, Regulated A. The following definitions shall apply to the interpretation and enforcement of this article. Director, the city manager of the City of Fort Oglethorpe, or his designee for the administration of this article. Producer, any person, group, or person, organization, association, club, or other entity responsible for the planning, producing, or conducting an event. Special event. The term special event or event shall mean any organized activity having as its purpose entertainment or recreation, such as a festival, celebration, parade, foot race, or vehicle race, or show, music concert, parade, or march, rally, or assembly which takes place on a public street, sidewalk, or right-of-way, or occurs on private property and impacts governmental services on the public right-of-ways, or may impact the health, safety, and welfare of the general public,
because the nature of the assembly or the size of the assembly. The term special event or event does not include an organized activity having as its purpose entertainment, recreation, education, which occurs on city property in public use buildings. Vendor, any person or persons who engage in the sale to the public of any food or food products, including beverages, goods, services, or merchandise, or whatever nature from any location, either mobile or stationary, on a temporary, itinerant basis in connection with a special event. The definition of vendor as used in this ordinance shall not be construed to include or prohibit a permanent business operating under the provisions of business license ordinances and other applicable laws, from displaying goods or merchandise on a public sidewalk immediately in front of or adjacent to the permanent business structure, so long as such display does not impede the normal flow of pedestrian traffic, so long as other laws and ordinances pertaining to such business or display are complied with. Section B, any producer who desires to use a public street, sidewalk, or right-of-way, or use private property that impacts governmental services on public right-of-ways or may impact the health, safety, and welfare of the general public because of the nature of the assembly or size of the assembly, are hereby required to have a permit issued by the city for the privileges of engaging in such activity unless such a permit is prohibited under state law or the activity is otherwise exempted by law, ordinance, or other valid regulation. It shall be unlawful for any producer, person, group, organization, association, club, or other entity to conduct or cause to be conducted any special event in the city of Fort Oglethorpe without having obtained a valid permit for such event. Section C, the city manager shall designate a director to coordinate the permit process to ensure all applications for special events are processed and presented to the mayor and council for approval and issuance of the permit in an efficient and timely manner. The director may be assisted by other employees of the city. Geographic location, responsibility for the police and sanitation service. A special event shall be limited to the specific geographic areas within which the event is to take place, and the producer of a special event shall be responsible for the provisions of the police and sanitation services within the boundaries of the event for a period of 2 hours, past the conclusion of the event or until the area is cleared of all activities. Section E, delineation of boundaries, preservation of areas for circulation. The outermost boundaries of the special event shall be fully and clearly designated on a map, which shall be no smaller than 8.5 by 11 in size and attached to the application for a permit. All public streets or sidewalks within the adjacent to such areas or public right-of-ways on which government services or impacts shall be clearly identified. The director or designee shall require, as a part of the approval of the event, that areas no less than 5 feet in width shall be designated and preserved for public circulation and access to adjoining business establishments outside the areas delineated by the event. F, maps for walks or runs. The producer of a special event, such as a walk or a run, as to which the provisions of Section D above would not be practical, shall submit an application for a permit map, which shall be no smaller than 8.5 by 11 in size, showing the exact route or the course or for the walk or run. A producer of a special event shall make application for a permit at least 90 days prior to the event. The date of the event is scheduled to occur at the office of the director. However, no application shall be accepted earlier than 1 year prior to the date of the event. Application forms may be obtained from the office of the director. A non-refundable application fee of $50 shall be paid at the time of the application for a permit. A non-refundable application fee of $50 shall be paid at the time the application for a permit is filed. Such fee is payable to the city by cash, check, money order, or cashier's check. The producer of an event, if a group or organization, shall be fully identified on the application. However, a special event permit shall be issued only to an individual person who may be the actual producer or a designated agent of the producer, and such individual person shall be solely and fully responsible for the compliance of all provisions, including all financial requirements of this article and other applicable laws. Administrative review. The director shall cause the application to be circulated to each governmental department or other agencies who the services the director determines would be affected by the nature and activities of the proposed event. Each such department or agency shall review the application and note the services which it will be required to perform, the number of personnel to perform the services, the length of time to perform the services, the cost to perform such services, and other information which would assist director in facilitating the event and services required. Each department of the city review an application may recommend in writing conditions or restrictions as deemed necessary to facilitate the event, comply with other laws or regulations, and ensure the safety, health, and welfare of the community. In reviewing the recommendations of the department, the city council may impose such conditions or restrictions as a part of the permit, and such special conditions so imposed shall be construed to have the full force and effect of law as the provisions of this article. A violation of this condition or restriction shall be deemed a violation of this ordinance. K, final approval of permit, minimum review period. The mayor and council shall approve or deny an application for special permits occurring in the city after considering all comments and conditions of the reviewing departments and agencies, certain conditions or restrictions as deemed necessary to facilitate the event, other laws or regulations, and are the safety, health, and welfare of the community, as well as other information pertaining to the proposed event as described on the application, and after the payment of all applicable fees. The city shall issue or deny a permit no later than 45 working days following the date of the completed application is filed. If the permit is denied, the producer shall be notified of the denial. A written request by the producer for the reasons for the denial, the reason for denial shall be given in writing. Permit fee. The fee for a permit to conduct a special event shall be based on the services to be provided by the city for the event. Must be paid in full prior to the issuance of the permit and no later than 72 hours prior to the date of the event, and shall be equal to the estimated actual cost to the city to provide the services. The initial permit fee shall be aggregate of the estimated cost of such services calculated by each department. The director may require a security bond to be provided by a producer or cash deposit if he determines that a security bond or deposit is necessary to provide for unanticipated expenses in connection with the event. If at the conclusion of the event the cost of the city services is greater than the initial payment, the producers of the event shall be billed for the difference. Failure to pay the outstanding amount within 30 days of the billing date shall be a violation of this article. The fees required in this section shall be in addition to all other fees which may be required by any other ordinance or regulation that might be applicable. M, the producer of any special event shall hold harmless the city of Fort Oglethorpe, its officers, departments, constitutional officers, employees, and agents or liability of damages arising from any acts or omissions emanating from a special event. Proof of such waiver shall be filed with and made a part of this application form. The producer shall be responsible providing liability insurance that may be necessary for any special event. The amount of liability insurance shall be based on the size of the event and shall designate the city as an additional insured. In the sale of food or any merchandise or services of any type by a vendor shall be allowed as a component of the special event, provided such vendor is approved and authorized in writing by the producer of the event, and shall be conducted in accordance with such conditions and limitations as shall be imposed in writing by the producer and submitted as a part of the application for a permit, in accordance with the conditions and limitations as shall be imposed by the county, state, federal laws, rules, and regulations. The producer of a special event shall have sole responsibility and authority to allow or disallow sidewalk or street vending as a component of the event, and to designate the location and activities of such vendors. It shall be unlawful for any vendor to engage in any such business at any location or in any manner not authorized by the producer of the event. Any vendor authorized by the event producer shall be required to promptly display his or her person a badge identifying the vendor as an authorized participant of the event. Such identification shall not be less than 3 inches. 3 inches shall state the bearer is an official participant of the event and shall bear the signature of the producer of the event. Vendors authorized by the producer of an event as a component of the event shall not be required to obtain any separate vendor's permit or to operate during the period of the event. However, all other vendors of any nature not authorized as a participant of the special event shall obtain the appropriate license and permits as required under the applicable ordinances. It shall be unlawful for any vendor not authorized by the producer of a special event as provided under this section to engage in any such business within 25 yards of such event from 1 hour before until 1 after the special event. Traffic control shall be provided by the police department, and the number of officers and special arrangements shall be determined by the director in conjunction with the chief of police. The director, upon consideration of the health, safety, and welfare of the attendees of the special event and the community, may require a producer of a special event to provide temporary outdoor toilet facilities at any event in which 200 or more persons are expected to be in attendance. In addition, the number of toilets and their location shall be determined by the director. Q. Musical events shall be provided in a manner consistent with the peace, good order of the community. Musical entertainment shall not commence before 10 a.m. and must cease before 11 p.m. Any producer of any event desiring to conduct a public exposition or display of fireworks shall first obtain the permit from the judge of the probate court in accordance with the provisions set forth under state law. Or temporary non-commercial banners or signs may be permitted overhead across streets for the purpose of designated starting and finishing lines for a race. Small banners, pennants, signs, or other decorations which do not interfere with the vehicular or pedestrian traffic and which do not damage or deface any tree or public structure may be allowed as a part of the special event. The producer of the event shall be responsible for the removal of such banners, pennants, and decorations within 48 hours after the close of the event. S. Any person, group, organization engaged in any picketing, demonstrations, assembly, gathering, process, or other activity protected by the U.S. Constitution shall be prohibited from blocking the ingress and egress of any public or private way. Any person, group, or organization engaged in such activities is required to make application as set forth in this ordinance. However, any such person, group, or organization shall be exempt from the payment of fees set forth herein. The safety, health, welfare, and good order of the citizens and community shall be first and foremost, and every special event shall be conducted in such manner. The chief of police or his lawful officers may terminate any activity, whether as a part of the entire event, which does not meet the community standard. Upon notification of the event producer in person by the chief of police or his lawful officers to cease any activity, it shall be unlawful for such producer or participant to permit such activity to continue. U. Any person, group, or organization engaged in any picketing, demonstrations, assembly, gathering, processing, or other activity protected by the U.S. Constitution shall be prohibited from blocking the ingress and egress of any public or private way. Any person, group, or organization engaged in such activity is required to make applications set forth herein. Any such person, group, or organization shall be exempt from the permit requirements and fees set here. The provisions of this article shall not apply to any parade or procession conducted under the supervision and direction of the funeral director in conjunction with any funeral. Section 2, if any part of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or unconstitutional, such invalidity or unconstitutionality shall not affect or impair other parts of this ordinance unless it clearly appears such other parts are wholly and necessarily dependent upon the part held to be invalid or unconstitutional. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect on the first day of January 2022.
Did he ask you?
It's a typo.
Don't ask me to read it again.
Nobody in here wants to.
Please don't.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, sir, to add amended language.
Hold on just one second. Motion by Mr. Childs,
No.
Mr. Rogers, second by Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Ms. Stenney.
Thank you, sir. Amended language added to ordinance number 2021-15, specifying that this does take place the first day of January 2022. Correct? Okay. H, a non-refundable application fee of $50 shall be paid at the time the application for permit is filed. Such fee shall be payable to the city by cash, money order, or cashier's check. The producer may apply to the council for refund of the application fee, and after considering all comments and conditions of the reviewing departments and agencies, certain conditions or restrictions as deemed necessary to facilitate the event, other laws or regulations, and/or the safety, health, and welfare of the community, as well as other information pertaining to the proposed event as described on the application. The council, in its sole discretion, may elect to refund the application fee. L, the producer may request that the permit fees be waived by the mayor and city council after considering all comments and conditions of the reviewing departments and agencies. Certain conditions or restrictions as deemed necessary to facilitate the event, other laws or regulations, and/or the safety, health, and welfare of the community, as well as other information pertaining to the proposed event as described on the application. Sir?
I have a motion to approve the amendment of ordinance 2021-15 as read by Ms. Stenney.
Make a motion.
Second. Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Childs. Ms. James.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Stenney.
Yes.
Mr. Childs.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Amendment as read is added to ordinance number 2021-15. Mr. Crawford, Mr. Rogers, y'all still on board with a motion and a second to approve?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Stenney.
Yes.
Ms. James.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Mr. Childs.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2021-15 as amended is approved unanimous. Next item on the agenda is new business. Item number 1 under new business, proposed approval to retire police firearm Glock model 17 9mm with serial number BGYB 779. Chief Sewell.
Mr. Mayor, Council, before you this evening to recommend approval to retire one Glock Model 17 9mm serial number BGYB779 from the City of Fort Oglethorpe's inventory and provide the firearm to Officer Mark Cruz in recognition for his dedicated service to the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe for over 2 decades. Officer Mark Cruz has proudly served the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department from March 31st, 1998 until August 29, 2021. During his more than 23 years of service, Officer Cruz carried many different firearms. The last assigned firearm issued to Mark Cruz was the Glock Model 17 9mm, serial number BGYB779. To acknowledge his dedication and service to the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe, the city desires to retire the duty weapon and provide it to him. The police department will replace this weapon with the purchase of another Glock Model 17 9mm in the amount of $428.50. I'd request your approval.
Thank you, Chief Sewell. I have a motion to approve.
Make a
So
motion.
moved, sir.
Second.
First by Ms. Stennett, second by Mr. Crawford. Any discussion?
Thank you for your service. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for all you did for us.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 2 under new business. Proposed approval to procure emergency vehicle lighting and equipment packages for police vehicles. Chief Sewell.
The police department recommends approval to procure 2 emergency vehicle lighting system and equipment packages from West Chatham Warning Devices in the amount of $7,859.98. On September 13th, 2021, Fort Oglethorpe City Council approved the purchase of 2 vehicles, one 2021 Jeep Cherokee and one 2021 Dodge Ram. These vehicles require emergency lighting equipment packages to be installed. The police department did solicit quotes from 4 vendors, with West Chatham Warning Devices providing the lowest and most responsive quote. If approved, the West Chatham Warning Devices will install the packages within 3 days of notice of approval, pending product availability. This will be SPOS funding. I would request your approval.
Thank you, Chief Sewell. I have a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Childs, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 3, under new business. Proposed approval to procure and install sign and electronic message board at Battlefield Parkway and Highway 27. Ms. Hume.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You all are familiar with our new sign out in front of City Hall, the electronic message board. We would like to procure a matching sign at the corner of Battlefield Parkway and Highway 27. It will be programmed the same. It will have the same message when the sign up in front of City Hall goes into effect. That one will go into effect, and it will get rid of our old manually done board. It'll look a lot more professional, and it'll be more exciting for people coming into and out of the town. We're pretty excited about it. The cost is $49,998, and Mr. Quarles is here from the Building, Planning, and Zoning Department if you have any questions about that.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. I have motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. James, second by Mr. Childs. Any discussion or any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Ms. Hume.
Thank you. Just a reminder that we still have the county is still offering free COVID testing by appointment out at the Colonnade every Monday and every Wednesday from 10 to 7. There are free drive-through Pfizer COVID vaccines available at the Colonnade every Thursday between 5 and 7 p.m. And free Moderna COVID vaccines are available at the Catoosa County Health Department by appointment Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chief Sewell, who is going to present 3 service awards for some of our officers.
Good evening again. I'd like to invite Brian Stooksbury, our Captain Patrol, to present this award.
Thank you all for hearing me. Tonight, as a patrol captain, I want to honor one of our patrolmen who's dedicated service for the last 10 years. We want to honor. He's served everywhere from patrol. He's moved up to patrol sergeant. He's worked as an investigator, and recently came back to patrol in a very timely manner. He was recently promoted to lieutenant. He watches over our night shift guys on one of our rotations. He's an asset to the city, and we want to honor him tonight for his 10 years of dedicated professionalism and service. If you'll come up.
Tell us his name.
Sorry. Lieutenant Greg Cross.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Now I'd like to invite up Lieutenant Brad Palmer to present the next award.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'd like to recognize Marcia Teeters. Come on up here. Front center. I wrote a quick letter to go with Marcia's service award tonight. It says, Marcia, we realize that our employees are our greatest asset, and we are delighted to honor your 15 years of dedicated service and commitment to the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department. The success of our organization is a direct result of your efforts and dedication. On behalf of the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department, it is with great pride that we congratulate you on the service anniversary milestone. Today, we celebrate you and your individual and collective contributions to our success, and we look forward with great expectancy to many more good years to come.
Sorry, we have one last one to take care of tonight. Officer Mark Cruz, would you join me up here, please? Officer Mark Cruz joined the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department March 28, 1998, and served until August 27, 2021. During his career with the police department, Officer Cruz rose through the ranks, served in nearly every division of the police department, from communications, property and evidence, criminal investigations, as a lieutenant of patrol, and finally as a patrolman. Officer Cruz was the example of working cooperatively with the community. He has a servant's heart and would go out of his way to maximize the quality of life for the citizens he served every day, the officers he served with, as well as every employee in the city. In the 11 years I've known Mark, I've never seen a day that he did not approach with a positive attitude, a smile on his face, and the ability to make others smile too. Mark Cruz has the ability to face adversity, roll with the punches, and maintain an enjoyable demeanor. He's never let a setback get him down or to get in the way of him serving other people. And quite honestly, Mark, I wouldn't be here today, and you know what I'm talking about, if it wasn't for you. Officer Cruz proudly served the fine citizens of Fort Oglethorpe for 8,552 days. It's over 23 years. He was an incredible asset to the department and the community. His daily presence is and will be greatly missed. The Fort Oglethorpe Police Department, along with the entire city, wish you many happy and healthy years of retirement.
Yeah, I'll say a little something here. After 23 years, I can say something here. I just want to tell you that it's my honor to serve the city. I mean, I've had so much fun. I always had a positive attitude. I've enjoyed all my councils that I've been to in all these years. There's been some bad, but I try to, do it right. But I just want to tell y'all thank y'all, and I appreciate all y'all doing for me.
Officer Mark Cruz, badge number 132, from us here at Catoosa County 911. The city of Fort Oglethorpe, your brothers and sisters in blue, citizens of Fort Oglethorpe and Catoosa County would like to congratulate and thank you for your 23 plus years of service and accomplishments, and for your dedication to the city, and wish you luck on your retirement. 1042, 107. Catoosa County Communications, September 27, 2021, 1839.
Great.
Thank you.
That's great.
132. Get these I'm clear. Thank you for everything you've done.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're going to get the call. Thank you all very much. That's it from me.
Thank you, Ms. Hume. Next item on the agenda is mayor and council comments. Well, Mr. Cruz, I'd like to say congratulations. You and I have been through quite a few things through this city, from tornadoes to a little bit of everything, and you've always served this city well. And as sad as it is to see you go, I also like to say you've earned it. So, but we certainly appreciate everything you've done. You will be missed. To officers that received these awards tonight, you guys are a different breed, and I mean, especially in today's time, you really got to care about people to do what you do. And it's probably one of the most unappreciated jobs that we do have. And you guys get up and you do it every day. Tammy, will you stand up, please? Miss Tammy was honored as our Police Officer of the Year down at the Colonnade last Tuesday. We need to say congratulations to you. And it's an honor when we see people with these 10-year services and 15-year services. And I imagine you're more than that, aren't you, Tammy?
Almost 15.
Yeah. And you know, if you look around the country today, guys, it's kind of unheard of. I mean, you know, most of these guys are going somewhere else and getting plumb out of the profession. And I just can't tell you guys how much we appreciate what y'all do. You know, you get up every day not knowing whether you're going to return home that night or not. And it takes a special person. And we're fortunate that we've got as many of them as we've got. And I would just like to say thank you for everything y'all do every day. Thanks a lot. Ms. Giles.
I'd like to just piggyback on what the mayor said. Congratulations, Mark. And thank you for your service, each and every one of you. And thank you, Kat. We've got a great team. We got a great city, and we are behind you guys 100%. So thank you.
Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, just exactly what y'all are saying. Congratulations, Mr. Cruz. Still, some of my kids' favorite moments and around the ball fields when you come up there and hand out the sticker badges and everything. And it always made them smile, and they always know who you are when you come around, and we appreciate that. And Miss Davis, congratulations on Officer of the Year. Lieutenant Cross on your award, and Marcia Teeters, thank you. And we're just very thankful we have a great police department. And all you other gentlemen here, we appreciate you keeping us safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr. Cruz. We've had a lot of good times together as well. So you've earned it, and you've been an incredible asset to the city, and we're hate to see you go, but we're thankful for you, and hope you have a great retirement. And thank you to all the other officers. Y'all do so much for us, and we just can't say thank you enough, and we just can't say that we support you enough. Like, we support you big time. So thank you, and we're so appreciative.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. James.
It's going to be hard to follow that up, so I'll just say thank you too, and congratulations to everyone, and I pray that you enjoy every minute of your retirement. You deserve it.
He looks like he is, don't he?
I always smile.
Thank you, Ms. James. Ms. Stinnett.
Yes, sir, thank you. Well, to all of you in blue, we are very, very thankful, grateful for all of your service, all of your time, your commitment, and the difficult situations that you have gone through and pulled us through. That goes without saying. Mark, God, you know I love you. And I don't know that if there's anything more I can say than that. I just love you. But on the behalf of the Fort Oglethorpe Veteran and Citizen Council and Honor Park, a tribute to those who serve, we would like to place a paver in your honor at the park, sir. It's an honor. So, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Stinnett. Next item on the agenda is adjournment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Crawford, second by Mr. Childs. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.